Hi, Salt here. Hope you're all having a wonderful Pride of 2024 so far. I wanted to make a video today to tell you about some really exciting news that's going on in my life that's related to the amazing month of festivities we're about to be having. Now, it's no surprise to anyone who's ever been to my channel. It's everywhere and kind of, there and there that I am a very proud pansexual queer person. And my community is full of amazing queer identities, myself included. But I wanted to talk to you all today because I don't think we've had the opportunity to really, truly know each other. And I'm finally ready to actually do that. So I would like to take this moment to say hi. Once again, my name is Salt, and I am gender fluid. I've known for a very, very long time. Obviously, I've known for most of my life. And even though I didn't necessarily have the words for it for a long time, it's something that's always kind of sat in the back of my brain and in the back of my heart. And over the last few years, it really started to come back to me and realize that I've never felt that real connection with masculinity. And I realized I'm not one gender. I am not a gender. I am somewhere in the non-binary. I'm somewhere in between. And maybe all of them at once or none of them. And so it's taken a long time to, talk with other amazing queer members of my community, partners, and other important people in my life to really dig into this identity. But I'm finally ready to share with the world this part of me. Now, I also feel like this is an opportunity to educate. And so I wanted to make this video and talk a little bit about my experience as a gender fluid person and even what that means. So let's start with the basics. Non-binary, gender fluid, what does that even mean? Well, it's different for everyone. First of all, it's okay if these identities are new to you, whether you're queer or not. So let's learn. So non-binary is a gender identity that sits outside of man or woman, male or female. It sits in between that 0 and 1 binary. A lot of modern Western society deems gender as a binary, 0, 1, this or that, male or female. But that's not true. Gender is in fact a spectrum and always has been. Many cultures today and many throughout history have had gender identities that exist outside of male and female. Non-binary or NB, for some exists as both a start. And how about gender fluid? Well, that usually means a non-fixed gender identity that shifts over time or depending on situations. For me, personally, as I said, there are days when I don't really feel like a guy at all, let alone a man, And there are other days where I feel extremely feminine. I feel really, really embraced by feminine identity. And then there are days when I'm kind of indifferent, where I don't really feel this or that. Sometimes I feel it all. Much like being a pansexual, where I choose yes on the all-you-can-eat buffet of sexual attraction, I also choose yes to the all-you-can-eat buffet of gender. A lot of these identities, non-binary identities and gender fluid identities, have a lot of interplay and overlap, and they're going to look a little different for every person. So there is no exact definition. The most important thing for you to take away from this is that I'm not a cis guy, and I have never been one. The other obvious question is, what are your pronouns now? These days, my pronouns are mostly they, them, although realistically any pronouns suffice, and I'm not saying that to cop out. There are some days when I'm going to dress a little more masc. There's going to be days when I want to present more femme, or it can just be what I'm feeling in my heart. I think they, them is a really safe place to sit. But in terms of pronouns for me, as long as you're seeing me for who I am and not for who you think I should be or what you believe me to be on a perception, I think we're going to be just fine. Next question, are you going to change your appearance or maybe even your voice? So the short answer to that is yes and no. I'm always going to be a t-shirt person, especially a band shirt. I love my band shirts and I love a pair of jeans. But I really want to, and I have been experimenting with my fashion more and more. And certainly you've started to see me add a lot more bright colors to my wardrobe. People who have known me for a long time might remember a time when all I had was black on black on black in my wardrobe, and I've really tried to push away from that and bring bright colors and pastels and florals into my outfits. But I also want to add more things to my wardrobe. So skirts and dresses, flowy clothing, things designed with feminine bodies in mind that will fit me. And I already have a lot of that wardrobe. So, you know, sometimes you might see me look a little something like this, but other times you might see me look a little more something like this. This is actually something I picked up recently. Black milk, not an ad, but oh my god. Can we just talk about this for a sec? Like, come on. What's not to love, right? So yeah, sometimes I will be changing my appearance. As for my voice, that's not changing. I love my voice. It's one of my favorite features of me as a person. And I'm a big believer in femininity can be many different forms, and androgyny can come in many different forms, and breaking the binary can be in so many different ways. And I don't have to sacrifice a voice that I love to be feminine, to be non-binary, to sit outside of the gender norms. So that is something that is here to stay. I guess the final question would be, well, what if I don't agree with your identity? And in that case, I only have one thing to say. Fuck off. I don't care. Your opinion of who I am matters not to me. I would highly encourage that you find far more productive things to do with your energy than to invalidate the joy that other people feel. This Pride Month and every Pride Month and every day between, I am never going to let somebody who chooses to stand behind bigotry and ignorance invalidate who I am as a person, and you should not let that happen to you either. For people who don't understand and are rejecting what they see, I encourage a little bit of self-reflection. I encourage you to look within and ask why it is so important to you to police one's identity. Your energy is not needed here, and if this is enough that you're no longer interested in the salt stream, well, I won't miss you when you go. For most of you, you know me online as Salt or Salty, and that's not going to change. Salt is honestly a great gender-neutral name, and one of the things during my exploration into my gender identity and really digging into it that I found was I almost found it euphoric to be called Salt when I met people in person, because it was such a gender non-exclusive name. For those of you who know my legal name in meat space in the real world, which I won't put here because I like to keep parts of my life a little private, but if you do know my real name, I'm not changing it either. And there are versions of my name that are far more soaked in masculinity than other versions of the name. But my personal version that I like to go by the most, the slightly shorter version of my name that I go by most often, well, I've come to discover that a lot of women and non-binary people actually share that name with me. I thought it was an extremely masculine and male-only name, and I've come to learn that I was very wrong about that. And it's been a beautiful thing to discover. So I don't feel any need to change my legal name. And honestly, I like it. It was given to me by my mother, and I think my mom has pretty good taste. So for now, I'm definitely keeping it. And even if I do decide to add other names that I will go by, I don't think I'll ever fully go away from my legal name. But for everybody else, you can always call me Salt or Salty. That's never going away. And that's it. I'm sorry about the really lengthy video. This might have gone on a little longer than I meant it to, but the short and long of it is, hey, I'm gender fluid. They, any pronouns. You're going to see me in a dress. You'll probably see me in dresses on stream or in skirts, as well as, some of the clothing you've come to see me in for a long, long time. And that's it. And if you're watching this and you are thinking about your own gender identity and you've had doubts or questions and you're like, maybe I'm not what I think I am, I encourage you to explore those. I'm turning 34 in 2 months. And at the age of almost 34, I'm still on a gender discovery. It's never too late or too early. If what you feel inside is that you're a different gender than the one you were assigned at birth, then you are. Explore that, learn about yourself, and I encourage you to take that deep travel within, because the other side is nothing but bliss. And you'll always have a space in this community. You'll always have a space among the Sodium Court. I would like to take a moment to thank my partners, my friends, my local queer community, the online queer community that I have at large, the space that I have to be myself, and again, everybody who watches my streams, who watches YouTube, and has been on this journey with me for over 3 years. May there be many more. Happy Pride, and stay salty. See you soon.